Welcome to our weekly Forex forecast. Before we get started, I need to point out that trading Forex is a risky endeavor and not suitable for all investors. My name is Jay Norris, and I'm the Director of Education at Trading University. Let's get to the charts. First market we're looking at is the Australian dollar. This is a 4-hour chart. The reason I'm showing you the 4-hour chart is you can see pretty clearly that day-to-day pattern is in fact down. As long as you're below that orange line, essentially that pattern's still down. So I think it's pretty significant that a leading indicator market, that a carry pair is this weak in the cycle, especially relative to your other asset class markets, your other commodities. I think it's pretty telling that you're seeing market weakness here, and I think it's pretty significant that you had a breakdown there late in the week also. Definitely a more shallow retracement here than we would have liked to seen. You came a long ways away from taking that high out there, the September high, even longer ways away from when I pan out to a daily chart from taking out the 2011 highs all the way up here. So this is really the first year in really modern times that you haven't had a higher high for the year for the Australian dollar. I think that's significant long term. And I think that probably points to potentially more downside here back on the 4-hour chart, back on the shorter intraday time frames. So Australian dollar, you still have these important primary pattern higher, secondary pattern still high. This would be your secondary pattern from the June low. That's higher. You could see long term when I go out to a weekly, the primary pattern's higher too. But overall, more near term, month to month, year to year, you're starting to see weakness here, and I think that's going to weigh on this market potentially. That's going to be significant. Next market we'll take a look at is the Euro US dollar. Here's another one of pretty good concern, or not concern, of excitement, I guess, if you're in the bear camp. You can see here's the 4-hour chart, and you have a nice big double top. Anyone who's followed the euro for any amount of time knows this market loves double tops. Let's jump out to a weekly. Look at the big double top we had in 2008. Then you had this nice double top here at the tail end of 09. Another double top here, kind of sneaky because the same here. You had a higher right top there than the left top. Double tops nonetheless, and here we see a potentially another one in the making right here. What's significant about this is the primary pattern's down now. Yeah, the secondary's up, but the primary's down. What's also neat about this particular rally here is it's identical in height to the fourth quarter rally of 2011, which is another counter trend rally. And you can see it right there. I just took that high to low, extrapolated it up, and boom, you can see right on the penny that the heights are the same there. And I think even more significant that the primary pattern's down right here. Secondary's up. You still have some pretty good support here. If you come down to the 4-hour chart, you can see essentially you're in a sideways range. So it's hard to get too bearish on this guy just yet. But longer term, back out to the daily, you could say, hey, change could be a coming soon. So I think if this market breaks down, there's a good likelihood that it will you'll potentially resume the overall primary trend, which is down. There's your 4-hour chart, so that may be a level to watch there, that trend line. We'll have to watch it, but I think potentially you're seeing weakness in the Aussie to continue, potential top in the euro. All this is starting to spell out a potential dollar rally. Let's check out the pound. Pound was very strong earlier in the fall. That was a heck of a nice rally. That's the 4-hour chart. Let's go out to a daily chart. And I apologize. It looks like it's duping my daily candle here. We're about to open. That'll happen very often. So that's just a dupe. Basically, Friday. It just duped Friday. So that's just one day there. But overall, this is a pretty big rally. And you can see that day-to-day pattern, short-term pattern is still up. We have some support there potentially. I think if you take that out, you're going to get what I was looking for, would be a move down in that secondary pattern zone. So potential support in the secondary zone, I think that'd be exciting. I think if you see some dollar strength, if you see a correction in the euro, if you see the potential development of even a larger down move in the Aussie, I think you will get a shot at 157, and depending on how momentum looks at that point, we may have to take a good look at potential buy signal in the pound. But again, short-term, intermediate term, no matter how you cut it, it kind of looks like dollar strength, doesn't it? Well, granted, you're still on top of support from that October low. We'll have to watch that. But, you know, I'm across the board, I'm starting to see dollar strength. Hasn't quite started yet, though. You're still you still have that important day-to-day pattern up here, also in the euro. You can see you're camped out right on top of support here, so we'll have to see what happens. But kind of leaning that way. And speaking of dollar strength, let's go to dollar yen and look at that. You know, that's a good-looking chart. You do still have some resistance, that high right there. When I pull out, just right around 2/3 there, you have resistance here hung up right there. No surprise. If you chip away at that, though, and it appears to be trying to do that, it keeps coming back to it, too. Even on the 4-hour, you can see it kept coming back to it. It's pointed higher now, in fact. If you could take out that high, there's a potential breakout here in dollar yen. Again, you're seeing that dollar strength theme that you have to take pretty seriously. Here's the U.S. stock market, our alpha market, pretty influential market. Let me pop out to a daily to give you scale. Triple top in the making, right? Big down day Friday. Friday happened to be the anniversary, the 25-year anniversary of the crash of '87. I remember that well. Markets have pretty good memories too. Here's another one where the day-to-day pattern is still up, but when I pop down to the 4-hour, you can see, hey, you know, you can reverse that. So we'll definitely be watching this Sunday night into Monday. That's a very important level. If you get a couple of closes below that on the 4-hour chart, potentially you shift that, and you can see a bigger correction in the making. Again, that would be likely be dollar strength. In the past, every time we've had a pretty good stock market correction, pretty good secondary move down, what accompanies that? Dollar strength. So potentially we're looking at more dollar strength. You know, technically not a lot has changed. You haven't seen me do the weekly report in a couple of weeks, nor the midweek report, because really not a lot has changed. You can see everything's sideways here, but on the other hand, you know, you're not seeing strength. And here's the market. I'm coming back to the Australian dollar once again. Here you have a lower high there, and that's overall is a lower high to the 2011 high. So you didn't get a higher high in the year. Potentially, I see this as weakness. It's still sideways just yet, though. Granted, you know, you're still sideways just yet, but it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And here's the chart I want to show you. Dollar yen weekly chart. No matter how you cut that, that's a higher low right there. So you have a higher low. You're breaking above that trend line. That's an intriguing chart. If you look at the weekly, you can see all the way, if I pan out to all the way to the monthly, and you can see where that trend line came from. You're like, wow, yeah, that potentially is a big breakout. So, hey, let's keep an eye on all these things. Again, if you want to know more about what we're doing, we encourage you to check out our e-campus at trading-u.com. If you want to see myself pointing out setups and signals in live markets, you go to our live market analysis, click on the education tab there, then click on live market analysis trial, and there it'll take you to the live market analysis section. You can plug in your own username and your email, and that'll get you signed up for that as well. Or you can always just email me at jnorris@tradingu.com and we'll get you in there. Thank you so much, and we'll see so many of you tomorrow in that live market analysis session.